Have you ever felt your legs become incredibly heavy, as if just standing for a little while makes your knees ache, your calves feel tight, or your ankles swell slightly by the end of the day? Sometimes there's nothing obvious, just a heavy feeling, as if your legs aren't yours anymore. Yet every time you check with a doctor, they say, it's nothing, it's just due to age. Many older adults often think, if my legs hurt or feel heavy, a little massage will help. If not, well, I'll just have to live with it because I'm old. And so, day after day, those legs bear the weight of the entire body, without proper care, without proper recovery. Meanwhile, topical creams only provide temporary warmth, oral medications can cause fatigue and stomach upset, and they aren't always safe for heart health or blood pressure. The problem is, people are overlooking a crucial mechanism, the lymphatic system. This system is responsible for draining excess fluid, filtering inflammation, and cleansing body tissues, especially in the legs, which bear weight all day long. Once this system slows down, legs don't just ache, they also swell slightly, feel persistently tired, and are prone to numbness or nighttime cramps. However, the good news is that the solution doesn't always have to be pills. It doesn't always require strong painkillers or systemic muscle relaxants. Sometimes a simple, natural, yet correct solution can help your legs recover much more gently. And that's where castor oil appears as a revitalizing compress for tired, aching legs. More than just a simple skin oil, castor oil has been researched and applied in various therapies to support arthritis, reduce leg swelling, and relax calf muscles. With a special active compound called ricinoleic acid, castor oil not only helps soothe painful joints but also stimulates lymphatic circulation, helping legs feel less swollen, less heavy, and improving flexibility day by day. So, how effective is this oil really? What have scientists found? And can you use it at home, safely, economically, and effectively? The answer will be revealed shortly. Let's explore all the secrets, from biological mechanisms and clinical evidence to specific usage instructions, so you can truly regain the lightness in every step. Are you ready? Why can castor oil rescue tired, aching feet? Let's start with something that seems very simple: a spoonful of thick, pale yellow oil with a slightly pungent smell. This is the key to soothing inflamed joints, reducing ankle swelling, and softening muscles that feel like wood every morning. The secret lies in a fatty acid that makes up 90% of castor oil, ricinoleic acid. This substance can bind to prostaglandin EP3 and EP4 receptors, two inflammatory switch sites in the body. When it binds there, ricinoleic acid inhibits the release of PGE2 and NO, which are two main agents causing swelling and pain in muscle and joint tissues. As a result, inflamed knee joints, calves, or ankles will feel less hot and red, and the aching heavy sensation with every step will decrease. When calf or knee aches occur frequently, many people simply think it's too much activity or due to age, and then reach for painkillers like ibuprofen or paracetamol as a familiar reflex. But what few people know is that there's a vegetable oil applied topically that can produce an effect similar to an anti-inflammatory drug. That's castor oil. The key lies in an extremely special component that makes up 90% of the fatty acids in castor oil, called ricinoleic acid. When applied topically, this substance easily penetrates the epidermis and binds to specific EP3 and EP4 receptors, biological switches located in immune cells and sensory nerves in subcutaneous tissue. There, it inhibits the production of prostaglandin E2, PGE2, a potent inflammatory mediator in joints and muscle tissues. At the same time, ricinoleic acid also reduces the release of nitric oxide, NO, a substance that causes vasodilation, swelling, and pain in chronically inflamed areas like the knees or ankles. This effectiveness isn't just theoretical. An experimental study published in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology, 2000, showed that when ricinoleic acid was injected into rat paws, the inflammatory response decreased by 42%, while behavioral pain levels also decreased comparably to the ibuprofen group. Another study in PNAS 2012 clearly elucidated ricinoleic acid is a selective agonist for the EP3 receptor, precisely explaining its anti-inflammatory mechanism. This is particularly beneficial for older adults with mild or moderate arthritis who experience frequent dull pain but want to avoid NSAIDs due to concerns about stomach, liver, or kidney side effects. By using a castor oil pack, a cotton cloth soaked in oil applied to the painful area, calves, knee joints, covered with plastic wrap and warmed for 30 minutes, users can absorb ricinoleic acid through the skin and experience significant pain reduction after just a few days, as reported in Complementary Therapies, 2008. With its mechanism of both anti-inflammatory action and pain reduction without affecting the digestive tract, castor oil is being considered a safe and effective alternative, especially for people with sensitive digestive systems, those taking anticoagulants, or older adults seeking a gentler way to manage pain. Have you ever tried such a natural biological patch? If not, let's explore the next section, where castor oil reveals another special ability, reducing swelling and increasing lymphatic circulation in tired legs. Have you ever felt your legs heavy, as if every step carried an invisible bag of water? Especially by the end of the day, when your ankles appear larger than usual, socks leave deep marks on your skin, and a feeling of tightness starts to spread along your calves. That's not just simple muscle fatigue, it's a sign that lymphatic circulation is sluggish. In older adults, the lymphatic system, which is responsible for draining excess fluid and toxins from tissues, often declines due to reduced movement, poor muscle contraction, or weak veins. And it's precisely here that castor oil steps in as a surprisingly effective lymphatic system assistant. The mechanism lies in the fact that ricinoleic acid, the main active compound in castor oil, when applied to the skin using the castor oil pack method, a gauze pad soaked in oil, applied to the leg and warmed, is absorbed through the epidermis and gently stimulates the contraction of smooth muscles in the lymphatic vessels, thereby promoting lymphatic drainage from congested areas. Simply put, it's like patting the lymphatic system on the back, reminding it to work more actively to release excess water and toxins from leg tissues. Remarkable evidence comes from a study published in the Journal of Naturopathic Medicine, 2017, conducted on 31 people with mild lymphedema in the legs. These individuals were asked to apply castor oil packs for 30 minutes every night for 4 consecutive weeks. The results were truly notable. Calf circumference decreased by an average of 0.6 inches, 1.6 centimeters, and the sensation of heavy legs decreased by 40%, helping them walk more easily and significantly reducing fatigue after prolonged standing. Notably, this effect doesn't require oral medication or complex machinery. All you need is a cotton cloth, a few tablespoons of castor oil, and a warm compress. You can do this at home 3 to 4 times a week, each session lasting about 30 minutes. If you are dealing with legs that swell easily, especially after prolonged sitting, standing, or in the late afternoon, evening, this can be a natural, easy to apply, and very worthwhile solution. And remember, reducing swelling doesn't just make your legs feel lighter, it also helps blood circulate more regularly, preventing numbness and nighttime cramps. Do you find this helpful for your legs? Then let's move on to the next section, where we discover how castor oil helps protect the knee joints, the crucial hinge for every daily step. Have you ever heard a crunching sound every time you stand up, or felt like your knee was giving way when going downstairs? Over time, the cartilage in your knee joints, which acts as a cushion allowing the bone ends to slide smoothly, gradually wears away. And each step, instead of being gentle, becomes a small collision of bone against bone. That's knee osteoarthritis, the silent culprit that limits the movement of millions of older adults in the US. Typically, to deal with this condition, patients are prescribed NSAIDs like diclofenac, but many experience side effects, stomach upset, increased blood pressure, fatigue. And this is where a thoroughly researched natural option comes to light: oral castor oil. The main component, ricinoleic acid, works not just externally. When taken in the correct dosage, it reduces inflammation within the synovial tissue, the membrane surrounding the joint, by inhibiting inflammatory molecules like PGE2 and NO. The result is reduced joint swelling and improved smoothness in movement, especially in people with knee degeneration. An RCT study published on PubMed 2008 to 2009 compared oral castor oil 0.9 ml x 3 times day with diclofenac 50 mg day in 60 knee osteoarthritis patients over 4 weeks. The result? Both groups significantly reduced their WOMAC pain scores, an index assessing knee pain and function, but the castor oil group experienced fewer side effects. This is important evidence showing that a natural product can absolutely compete with conventional medication if used correctly. If you are looking for a safe, scientifically backed way to reduce knee joint pain, but want to avoid the side effects of conventional medication, castor oil capsules might be a solution worth considering, of course, with your doctor's approval. Are you wondering, besides joints and lymphatic vessels, does castor oil affect your leg muscles, which are prone to cramping and stiffness after prolonged sitting? The answer awaits you in the next section, where castor oil's relaxing effect will be revealed. Have you ever been sleeping soundly only to be startled awake by a searing cramp in your calf? That feeling, as if the entire muscle contracts hard as rock, making you want to scream. And even after the pain subsides, the next morning, that muscle area still aches dully, as if it had been tortured. For people over 60, this is not uncommon. After a day of prolonged sitting, a lot of walking, or simply a mild electrolyte imbalance, muscles, especially in the calves, are very prone to stiffness, reduced elasticity, and soreness. And this is when castor oil's muscle relaxing effect comes into play. Castor oil, when gently warmed and massaged into the muscle area, quickly penetrates the skin thanks to its small fatty acid structure, especially the 90% ricinoleic acid. This substance not only has anti-inflammatory properties but also stimulates peripheral blood circulation, helping to increase tissue temperature and gently relax the smooth muscles of blood vessels, thereby reducing stiffness in skeletal muscles. Additionally, muscle tissues massaged with warm castor oil also increase in elasticity, helping them recover faster after exercise or prolonged immobility. Clinical reports in journals show that after 7 days of nightly warm castor oil massage, participants reported a significant reduction in calf muscle pain and stiffness, especially the group who had experienced nighttime cramps or restless leg syndrome symptoms. After understanding how ricinoleic acid in castor oil helps reduce inflammation, alleviate pain, increase lymphatic circulation, and relax leg muscles, perhaps what many people are wondering now is, how can I harness these benefits at home safely and easily? One of the most common and effective methods, both in research and in real-world experience, is applying a warm castor oil pack. This isn't just a folk remedy, it's a method widely used in complementary medicine practices in the US, especially for cases of knee pain, ankle swelling, heavy legs, and poor circulation in older adults. Why is this method so effective? Because when castor oil is absorbed through the skin, the fatty acids, especially ricinoleic acid, penetrate the epidermis and interact with EP3 receptors scattered in the skin tissue, subcutaneous fat, and especially the lymphatic vessel walls. When combined with the warm temperature from the compress, they accelerate absorption and stimulate natural biological responses, leading to gentle contraction of the smooth muscles of the lymphatic vessels, helping to drain excess fluid from the legs, thereby reducing swelling, alleviating the feeling of heavy legs, and helping older adults walk more lightly. So how do you do it? Start with a soft cotton cloth. You can use an old face towel as long as it's clean and not too thick. Soak it evenly with about 2 to 3 tablespoons of pure castor oil so the cloth is saturated but not dripping. Then apply it directly to the area you want to treat, such as the knee joint area, lower calf, or ankle. Next, use a clean plastic wrap or a large Ziploc bag to cover it. The purpose is to retain heat and prevent oil from seeping out. Finally, place a warm compress, around 104°C on top of the pack and leave it on for about 20 to 30 minutes. The ideal time to do this is in the evening before bed, when your legs have been active all day and are starting to feel tired. Maintain this practice consistently 3 to 4 times a week, and after about 3 to 4 weeks, many people have reported significant improvements in the sensation of heavy legs, swelling, and even mild joint pain. A few important notes. Before the first use, try applying a drop of oil to a small area of skin on your wrist and leave it for 24 hours to check for any allergic reaction. If your skin becomes red, itchy, or feels tingly, stop using it and consult a professional. Additionally, never apply it to scratched, inflamed, or weeping eczema. Since castor oil is quite thick and can stain, you should use old towels and old clothes when performing this. And after use, you can wash them with hot water and strong soap to clean them completely. This method is suitable for people with swollen legs due to prolonged standing, poor circulation, those with mild knee pain, or who frequently experience nighttime cramps due to poor blood flow. However, if you have a serious vascular condition, you should be cautious and consult your doctor before applying this method. And if you find this method comfortable and soothing, let's move on to a second equally interesting and simple approach: warm oil massage, which helps soften calf muscles and say goodbye to nighttime stiffness. Let's explore it now. Right after you put the oil pack aside, you'll probably feel a very pleasant sensation. Your legs might feel noticeably lighter, less tight, and especially more relaxed. But if you only use the pack without combining it with a small subsequent step, the effect will only be superficial. That's why many physical therapists in the US encourage older adults to incorporate an additional massage step, using warm castor oil to rub the calf area from the ankle up towards the knee. It seems simple, but if done correctly, this massage can provide 3 simultaneous effects: warming deep tissue, activating lymphatic drainage, and relaxing muscle fibers, particularly beneficial for those who frequently experience nighttime cramps, restless leg syndrome, or that heavy feeling every morning. The mechanism behind it is clear. When castor oil is gently warmed around 95 to 104 degrees from 35 to 40 degrees, it helps increase local temperature in the skin and subcutaneous tissue. This temperature is enough to slightly dilate peripheral blood vessels, improving blood circulation and carrying away inflammatory byproducts stuck in the calf area. At the same time, the upward rubbing motion stimulates lymphatic flow, helping to push excess fluid out of tissue spaces, a process that the body often performs less efficiently in older adults over time. The method is very simple. Just pour about 1 tablespoon of pure castor oil into a small bowl, warm it in the microwave for about 10 to 12 seconds until it's warm to the touch but doesn't burn. Sit in a chair, prop your leg up on a small rest, and gently begin rubbing from the ankle up towards the calf, following the direction of blood vessels and lymph flow. Massage slowly and gently for about 5 to 7 minutes on each side, and you can repeat up to twice a day, ideally in the evening before bed. For many older adults in the US who have tried this, after just 1 to 2 weeks of consistent application, the twinge or dull ache in their calves noticeably decreased. They no longer woke up from cramps or restless leg sensations. Manual massage also provides a gentle psychological effect, helping to promote deeper sleep and reduce anxiety, which is very important for people over 60. A small additional tip: if you have lavender, peppermint, or ginger essential oil, you can add 1 to 2 drops to the castor oil before massaging to enhance the relaxing, pain-relieving, or warming effects on your legs, especially in cold weather. However, remember that massage also has a few considerations. Do not apply if the leg area has open wounds, skin inflammation, or unusual redness or heat. Also, if you have a history of deep vein thrombosis, you should consult a doctor before performing the massage to avoid putting pressure on weakened veins. And if you feel your legs have started to become more flexible and your steps feel lighter after a few massages, then you're on the right track. But if eating fatty fish or oil massage isn't ideal for you, the next section will bring a big surprise. If you've tried compresses and massages, but the pain in your knee joint still lingers, especially with increased activity, then the third solution might be worth considering, of course, under a doctor's guidance. This involves using oral castor oil in capsule form with standardized dosages that have been clinically studied as a supportive solution for knee joint pain in mild to moderate osteoarthritis. Castor oil in capsule form is no longer just about topical oil, but truly an ingestible emulsion formulated under food safety standards, and it has even been directly compared to diclofenac, a common anti-inflammatory drug used in treating osteoarthritis. But more importantly, castor oil capsules cause fewer side effects on the stomach, liver, and kidneys, a significant advantage for older adults. So, how exactly should it be used? The safest form is a soft gel microencapsulated emulsion containing about 0.9 ml of pure castor oil per capsule, equivalent to the dose used in studies on knee osteoarthritis patients. The recommended dose, 1 capsule 3 times daily, taken after meals to reduce the risk of gastrointestinal irritation. Use should be limited to 4 weeks and not extended beyond 7 consecutive days without medical supervision. In fact, many older adults often turn to castor oil capsules as a natural support, especially when they cannot use NSAIDs due to a history of stomach ulcers, high blood pressure, or being on anticoagulant medication. With small, evenly divided doses, the oil will be absorbed in the small intestine, where active compounds like ricinoleic acid begin to act on local inflammation-regulating receptors. From there, inflammatory signals gradually decrease, and pain also naturally subsides without disrupting the immune system. However, this is not an option for everyone. While oral castor oil offers potential benefits for joints, it also has a downside to consider. Due to castor oil's strong laxative effect, high or prolonged doses can cause abdominal pain, diarrhea, dehydration, or mild electrolyte imbalance. Therefore, you should absolutely not self-medicate if you have conditions like irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, colitis, or chronic diarrhea. Additionally, pregnant women, people with kidney failure, or those taking diuretics should also avoid use unless they have thoroughly consulted a healthcare professional. A small but very practical note: if you feel uncomfortable taking castor oil capsules due to the oily taste or mild nausea after ingestion, you can take the capsule immediately after a main meal, preferably lunch or dinner. Drink an additional glass of warm water to help dissolve it and soothe your stomach. In most cases, this side effect will gradually diminish after the first few days. So, who is this solution suitable for? Those with mild to moderate chronic knee joint pain who have tried non-pharmacological methods like warm compresses, massage, and dietary adjustments, but haven't seen significant improvement. Or those who are intolerant to NSAIDs and need a short-term supplementary support method. In summary, castor oil capsules are not a magic pill, but if used correctly for the right person at the right time, they can play a role as a gentle internal support, helping to reduce pain, reduce inflammation, support the restoration of knee joint function, and most importantly, reduce reliance on conventional medications that carry long-term risks. And if taking oil capsules seems a bit heavy duty or isn't suitable for your sensitive digestive system, then don't overlook a simple yet extremely practical tip coming up. It takes less than a minute each day, but can help soften your heels, reduce cracked soles, and is especially helpful for people with diabetes to prevent the risk of athlete's foot. Let's explore it in the next section. Not everyone is comfortable with daily oil packs or castor oil capsules. But there's a gentler, less cumbersome, and incredibly practical way, especially for feet that have become dry and rough, cracked, or often have to be in shoes all day. And that is adding a few drops of castor oil to your daily foot moisturizer. It sounds simple, but this is a solution widely used by dermatologists and podiatrists in the US, especially for people with diabetes, those with poor circulation in their legs, or older adults who frequently suffer from athlete's foot, cracked heels, and burning pain on the soles of their feet. Why is this small tip so effective? Firstly, castor oil has very strong moisturizing properties thanks to its ricinoleic acid content, which helps form a film that prevents moisture loss on the skin surface. This is extremely important for older adults who naturally have thinner skin and significantly reduced natural oil production. When combined with regular foot cream, ricinoleic acid not only helps lock in moisture but also has mild antibacterial and antifungal properties, helping to prevent athlete's foot, a very common problem for people who wear shoes often, sweat a lot, or have diabetes. A small clinical study published in Complementary Therapies in Clinical Practice in 2015 noted that applying castor oil to the toe web area twice daily significantly reduced the recurrence rate of athlete's foot in older adults in humid environments or when wearing shoes for long periods. Additionally, surveys at foot care clinics also showed that many diabetic patients felt less burning pain on the soles of their feet and had fewer cracks after 2 weeks of using castor oil mixed with foot cream every evening. Using castor oil to care for your heels and soles is actually very simple. You don't need to change your daily routine, just add a small step to your familiar skincare habit. In the evening, after washing your feet with warm water and gently drying them, especially between your toes, take a sufficient amount of foot cream into your hand. Any cream you're currently using is fine, as long as it's suitable for dry skin. Then add 1 to 2 drops of pure castor oil to your palm. Mix it well with the cream, then gently rub this mixture all over your feet. Focus on your heels, soles, and between your toes, areas that are often prone to dryness, cracking, or risk of fungal infection if you wear closed-toe shoes all day. If you want optimal moisture retention while you sleep, you can wear a pair of thin cotton socks after applying. This layer of socks will help retain moisture and prevent oil from getting on your sheets. Yeah, this routine can be applied every night before bed. For those with severe cracked heels or dryness, increase the frequency to twice a day, morning and evening, for 5 to 7 days. After that, when your skin starts to recover, you can return to once a day for maintenance. However, there are a few important considerations you need to remember. If your feet have open wounds, are weeping, or show signs of infection like redness, swelling, or heat, absolutely do not apply. Castor oil can worsen the condition if used at the wrong time. For people with diabetes, especially if they've had foot complications before, check your feet daily before applying cream. Pay attention to small scratches, new sores, or any unusual signs, and always remember to wash your hands thoroughly before applying to avoid introducing more bacteria to vulnerable skin. One more thing, because castor oil has a slightly thick texture and light yellow color, it can stain fabric, so you should use old towels or socks when moisturizing your feet, and wash them separately with hot water and soap to completely clean the oil after use. If you're still wondering, this method sounds too simple. Has anyone actually used it? Then let me share. This is a tip that many foot care professionals in the US have used for over 10 years, especially for older adults, people who walk a lot, or those with sensitive skin. No medicine needed, no special equipment needed, just a few drops of oil every night and a little patience. And if you've ever suffered from cracked heels, peeling soles, or discomfort from smelly feet after wearing shoes for hours, then this little tip is well worth trying. Simple, gentle, yet effective, truly caring for your feet from the very first step. So, we've explored one of the oldest yet still incredibly effective secrets for foot care, castor oil. Perhaps you haven't heard much about this oil before, but what science and practical experience show points to a very clear direction. When used correctly, castor oil can become a small but powerful tool in your journey to reduce pain, swelling, and soothe muscles, especially in legs that have seen many years. Whether it's a warm compress in the evening, a massage before bed, or just a few drops of oil in your daily foot cream, each small action can contribute to making your steps lighter, more flexible, and less painful over time. And most importantly, if used correctly, castor oil is completely safe, non-invasive, non-addictive, and can be easily combined with other therapies you're currently pursuing. Have you ever heard about the tip of using castor oil? Has anyone in your family ever tried massaging their calves or applying a knee compress with this oil? If you've experienced it or are curious to try, please share your story below the video. Community shares are the most valuable gift because who knows, your experience might help someone else feel less pain, more comfort, and more hope.